So Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson. This fight went the way that I expected it to go, but it's not what I predicted would happen. I did not see Derek Brunson getting takedown after takedown after takedown in each and every single round on Kevin Holland. I thought Kevin Holland had more of a wrestling defense than he did. The grappling game is in stand-up is lacking. I'm perplexed on the ground game of Kevin Holland because I saw Kevin Holland knock out someone off of his back, and when I say he knocked out someone, he didn't just knock out someone. He knocked out Souza, a fighter that I've been watching for a long time, dominate people, who's known for jiu-jitsu. Kevin Holland knocked him out from guard. But you go against Derek Brunson, and we hear the chatter, which I'm 100% okay with. At one point in time, Kevin Holland was leading the fights from ground strikes. He actually had more ground strikes from guard than Derek Brunson did. And Derek Brunson did a great job of staying busy to the body, throwing elbows to the face, in Kevin Holland's guard. So he was busy trying to knock out Kevin Holland from guard, but Kevin Holland was throwing up strikes, But round after round after round, Kevin Holland gave up the takedown. Only in the second round was there ever really a chance that Derek Brunson was in trouble. Kevin Holland, his right hand has a timing mechanism where it just finds people's chin and it does extreme damage. He almost knocked Derek Brunson down in the second round. He had him wobbly. He gave him the noodle foot, and somehow, some way, Derek Brunson, he weathered the storm, got another takedown, and that's all she wrote. So Derek Brunson, kudos to him. He did what he had to do. They call him, he's the underdog, never really getting that much respect. He's ranked number 7th right now. He's calling out big names. He's calling out the number 2 fighter in the middleweight class, Paulo Costa. Looking forward to that fight. I think that's the fight that they're going to make. We'll have to wait and see. But, who else is Paulo Costa going to fight? He's coming off of a championship fight loss. He needs a name to go against. He matches up well against Derek Brunson, so that's the fight to make. As for Kevin Holland, the loser of the main event at 185 pounds, he's talking about going to 170 pounds. And it's ironic that, it's not ironic, that's not the right word, but it's funny to me that you see, it's not even funny, it's refreshing to see Kevin Holland calling out Belal Muhammad at the welterweight class at 170 pounds after just losing at 185 pounds. Kevin Holland is not a short guy. He's like 6'3", tall, lanky, and he's talking about cutting weight. He weighed in at 183 for this fight. He's thinking that he can actually get down to 170 pounds, and he's already calling out an opponent. He's calling out someone who was in a main event 1 week prior, who did not lose a fight, got called into a no contest. Belal Muhammad's been throwing that gauntlet down, saying that he's calling for a rematch, a big fight against a big name. He believes he could be champion. He wants to fight Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is non-responsive to that, not hearing it, doesn't care about that. Leon Edwards has one goal and one goal in mind, and that's a championship fight. Belal Muhammad, on the other hand, he's got a decision to make now. The man who was just in the main event, lost the main event fight, plans to drop down to your weight class, called you out. How do you turn that down? I don't know. I don't see how you can turn it down. And it's exciting because this is the chance where you can have 2 guys ranked not in the top 5, more so around the top 10. I think somebody's 13 and Kevin might be 10, something like that, respectively. To have those 2 fighters with that type of ranking put on a performance in a co-main or main event would be special. I would be down for that. So we just got to see if Belal Muhammad really accepts that contract and how fast he does, because I don't believe, he has an eye injury, Belal does, so he has to recover. So we could be looking at that fight in September. Why not? That's something to look out for. Real quick, on the UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 22 card, big fights happened. Adrian Yanez versus Gustavo Lopez, 2 finishers. Gustavo in 12 victories had 11 finishes, knockout 6, submission 5. And Adrian Yanez, I've seen a couple of his fights, very impressive. As of tonight, he now has 8 victories by knockout. He knocked out Gustavo Lopez. Very interesting fact, Gustavo Lopez said Adrian Yanez has not beat anybody, so what's the hype about? And it's poetic justice when the person you said hasn't beat anybody ends up beating you. That's, that's just an interesting thing that happens at times. So kudos to both fighters, man. But Adrian Yanez, he's got that counter-striking game on lock. And ain't nothing better than watching someone with a counter-strike game, because you see these strikers go in with their tactics and their patterns, and then there's a leak in the pattern, and then the counter guy just pops one in there and handles business. It was a great fight. I think it went 3 rounds, but it got finished in the third, early in the third round. So that was a good fight. And Grant Dawson, man, I did not pick him to beat Leonard Santos. And I picked Leonard Santos because I've watched him for a long time. He was winning the fight. But during the fight, the announcers mentioned that Grant Dawson knew that it would be a tough, and he might even be down and losing the fight, but he felt like if he drew the fight out to the third round, he could find a way to win. And in 4 minutes and 59 seconds, or I'm sorry, in 14 minutes and 59 seconds of his fight, he found a way to get the KO. KO victory against Leonard Santos in the waning seconds of the fight ending. Kudos to him for not wavering in his game plan, staying composed, and not giving up. He found a way to win in 14 minutes and 59 seconds, which is ironic because taking it back to the Kevin Holland fight against Derek Brunson, we all knew in the 5th round that Kevin Holland was losing the fight, and he would need a knockout to win, which means he would have to find a way to get off the ground. In the 5th round, in the waning minutes of the 5th round, it was a stand-up fight. Kevin Holland did not attempt to strike it. He did not attempt to try to win the fight at all. He literally turned his side to Derek Brunson, walked around the cage, laughed it off like it was no big deal. That's probably the only thing I would say I don't understand. It's like, I know you're a laid-back person, but how is it that you just, settle for the loss in the last 25 seconds? You would think that some kind of strikes would come out in the last 15 seconds, but this man literally just walked away and said, hey, I'll walk away and live to fight another day, pretty much. So that was disappointing. But Kevin Holland is still Kevin Holland, man. We gotta see more fights from this guy. And hopefully it's Bilal Muhammad, man. We will see. The crowd will see. But anyway, I got this microphone here, but it's not plugged in. It's, Anyway, yeah, Natural Grappler. I'm out. Peace.